Hello and welcome to the Fifth Quarter AZ. My name is Danny Neal, and I am one of your co-hosts today. We want to welcome in our other co-host, and that's my guy, the coach, Mr. Tyrone Johnson. How you doing today, Coach?
What's good with you, Coach? I'm doing well. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. We ain't got no guests in today, so we're going to get a chance to just chop it up, man, really talk about some highlights. The year's almost over with.
Yes,
that was
indeed.
quick, man.
It was.
That was great.
To think that, graduation is next month, summer ball is coming up, all
it ain't
that
next
type of
month,
stuff.
is it?
Graduation?
Right. This is April.
Graduation is in May. That's next month.
It is next. Wow, that is,
month.
man. That's just crazy. And but there's been a lot of things happening in the sports world here in Flagstaff. Good, and everybody just been playing hard, man. And I think you and the Lady Eagles were at the top of the heat, winning the state championship.
Yep.
I don't know. Has there been anybody else that's won a state championship here in Flagstaff this year?
This year, yeah, they have. We had several schools win some state championships. Of course, cross country. You look at Coach Painter, the boys and girls.
Every year for Coach Painter, that's a given.
Yeah, both of them, boys and girls, won the state championship. When you look at the fall sport and you look at soccer for the girls for MPA, they won another state championship. And so, we got to join the ranks of some good company this year.
Man, it's gonna be championship city for too long. Oh, man. And that's good. And you're talking about at different levels. Mm-hmm. So we're competing at different levels in different sports and being very successful with and that encompasses all the kids of Flagstaff.
Yeah, it certainly do. And then even some of the ones that didn't necessarily win a championship, like, for instance, Coconino girls cross country, I think they finished sixth in the state at the state track meet and stuff, or the state cross country meet. And so we have schools, we have kids, we have, these student athletes that's competing at a high level, whether it's individually in some of the cross-country sports or collectively, like in, our soccers and volleyball and everything like that. I mean, we had a great sports year for Flagstaff.
We really did, man. And a group of kids that we really don't talk about that's so important in the sports world in Flagstaff is these student bodies, man. We go to these games and these student bodies be going. I mean, it's really in good faith. It's nothing mean or anything. Mm-hmm. They just supporting their schools, man. I just get a kick out of some of the cheers they be having. And something make me mad, man. But so and me, man, Coconino, they bring a crowd.
Well, it's always fun when you have school spirit, when the student body gets in and gets involved and they come support their fellow peers and whatnot. And it just shows, the high school experience.
Right.
Whether you're an athlete or whether you're in the student body and you're coming to support some of the athletes, it's all a great experience and it's all part of the high school experience. And it should be fun. And, they come ready, they come prepared. It seems like with some of them cheers, they might practice as much as the teams on the field. So
because they have them down.
They have them down packed.
Student body just fall down or go left. And just the effort they put in to support their teams, man. And people really don't talk about them that much.
Right.
And they are so important.
Oh yeah.
In these high school sporting events and so I think that they are really, really special. And we got to get in and show them some love, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The student body is an important factor in the sports experience. And so, if you're out there and you're a student that's been, at the high school level and you haven't yet experienced, be sure this next season that you get out there and that you experience some of this because it is fun. It's just a different atmosphere, different vibe, and still a way for you to be involved in a program to help support your school.
Right. And what I saw this year that I never saw before was we know about the Flag High Coconino rivalry. Mm-hmm. We know how they bring the crowds and how crazy it gets. But this year I went to the MPA basis rivalry. And it's just the same, man. And I was like tripping because, there's obviously not as many students.
Right.
But the same enthusiasm, the same energy, the same support is with that basis MPA group, man. And I got a kick out of that.
And I would imagine it would be probably maybe even a little bit more intense because their facilities are smaller, and so you're more intimate, you're more close, and you probably with the acoustics and everything is probably just vibrating off them walls and everything. So it's probably pretty intense.
And plus, the student body is so much smaller. Everybody knows everybody.
Right.
So they can really support their friends, and not just support the school. It's important to support the school, but to be supporting your actual friends and stuff, which is all the schools, but it's so much closer.
Right.
Because there's less kids. So, man, I really got a kick out of that this year.
That's
to watch
good.
how they got out there and did what they did, man. But
How many games you get to?
one. But that was that game.
That was that game?
That was that game.
Yep. Did you record anything? Did you get a short force?
No, I didn't. But that's one thing. As we go forward, is the shorts. People like these shorts. Like spending just a minute, 2 minutes with some of the student athletes, man. And I know Michelle has done a really good job for us doing that.
Yes.
So we just got to keep doing that. And so ADs and everybody, when we want to come grab one of your kids up and talk to them right quick, just for a short minute and just want to show them some love and put them out there. And because obviously they did something good that game,
Right.
to bring them there.
Right.
So, yeah, man, that's one of the things. And when you talk about winter sports, and Flag High had a decent year. Coconino went to the playoffs. So, and I think we may have had a signing or two out of those.
Well, what sport are we talking about in winter
Football.
sports?
I'm sorry.
Football?
Yeah.
That's fall, Coach.
Oh, is that fall?
That's
okay.
that's
Basketball is winter sports. That's right. Never mind. Yeah. All right. That's the fall sport.
Yeah, and I think Coconino made the playoffs. I know they were
Right.
ranked 13th. Flag High had a winning season this year, and so it's all a process about being able to turn things around and build. And so this is something that they can definitely build on. Hopefully, the commitment in the off season is there, so that the kids commit, the coaches are committed, and both programs can continue to grow and flourish. And then we'll be back to where we can expect them to make playoffs, and we can expect to get a playoff victory and everything. And so, but yeah, no, it was definitely good to see both of them with winning records this year.
Right, and they got out there, they played hard, and it was just fun, man, to see. Flag football took off this year with the girls. You had a great season last year with the inaugural season. This year, Coconino brings in a team, inaugural season, and flag football, both of you went to the playoffs.
Yeah, we both made the playoffs. We went on the road, Heritage Academy, rather. They knocked us out.
He messes up too. But
it's the company I keep. Eventually, I gotta mess up.
You just want to make me feel at all. Well, okay, go.
But Heritage Academy, they beat us on the road. Coconino flag football had a great run. They went down all the way to the semifinal game and just lost it there at the very end. Otherwise, they would have went to the championship. But Prescott went and represented kind of Northern Arizona in our region for that championship. And so, no, that was definitely good. Even when we talk about the fall sports and we talk about volleyball, Flag High was pretty dominant throughout. I think they came into the actual playoffs ranked number 1 and was undefeated in AIA play. And then I think, maybe second round, they got upset, but that doesn't take away from the tremendous year that they had. And, what they bring back, hopefully they'll be back and be ready. Coconino volleyball, again, they're getting back to what they were, and so that'll be solid. And you just look at all the different sports, and things are good.
Okay, well, I got a question for you. Since we brought that up, now my understanding was the team that put Coconino, that Flag High lost to in volleyball in the state, they had beat earlier in the year.
Correct.
But earlier in the year, they had 4 or 5 transfer girls who had sat out, that had to sit out half the season.
Right.
Including Donovan McNabb's daughter.
Mike
Bibby's daughter.
Yeah.
Including Mike Bibby's daughter. And they came in, and at the next time Flag High met them, now you got 4 superstars who wasn't there the first time. How do you feel about, should people have to sit out half a year? Should they have to sit out the whole year? Should they have to sit out at all, in your opinion? Because we've had to go through this.
Yeah, we go through it. I mean, for me, I'm just a proponent of whatever the rules say. You know what I mean? Just because
You don't always have to agree with the rules.
you don't always have to agree with the rules, but I mean, for me, we don't necessarily have the stuff that's going on in Phoenix to where
Right.
people are transferring and coaches are getting in people's ear and all that type of stuff. Allegedly.
Allegedly. And alleged.
Yeah. So we don't have kids, you know, like kind of like the transfer portal.
Right.
And this, I was talking with just a scout, and he was telling me that so and so is in the transfer portal. I was like, what transfer portal? I said, well, these is high school kids. It ain't no transfer portal. And so I think that if it is that you transfer and you sit out half a season, then that's the nature of the beast. That's what it is. I want kids to play. That's the
Right.
bottom line. But I just want everybody just to do it right. You know what I mean? If somebody's in your district and they come to your school, you work with that. It's no need to try and poach kids or this, that, or the other. You know what I mean?
Well, don't you think they're probably afraid that it'll happen what is happening in the NCAA now every year? Kids gonna be, and I understand it's different because now they staying at home with mom and daddy. Mom and daddy can't move them everywhere. You know, can't drive them across town to school. But don't you think that open up a can of worms if they went like the porthole and you can transfer and play as soon as possible?
I don't think that should be in high school. You shouldn't have a transfer portal in high school. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just ridiculous.
But like you say, it's not calling it that, but it's almost just like that.
Right. And I think that's pretty ridiculous because at some point kids got to learn to commit,
Right.
to be loyal,
And
to
the
be
parents need
faithful,
to learn that too.
to be able to push through adversity and really see. It can't be like, oh, I'm upset I didn't get the time that I deserve, and then you bounce into the next school. Oh, I'm upset I didn't get the time I deserve. You bounce to the next school. Oh, I'm upset I didn't get to. Eventually,
So I'd have been going from school to school.
well, eventually you got to look at the commonality. You didn't get the time that you
Wanted
deserve here. You didn't get the time there. So maybe it's
What's
not
the common
then.
factor?
Maybe, you see what I'm saying? And so, but if you stick through it, then maybe you'll learn some stuff, you'll persevere, and then you'll be able to get on the field, on the court, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And so, as far as kids sitting out, I mean, I don't like to punish the kid, but I just think that at some point we have to have some type of loyalty, some type of commitment, some type of dedication to the choice that you made. Yeah. But I don't know. It's tough because even when you get to college, I mean, everybody's 1 year and they're moving, and now NIL, they're trying to embed their deals and stuff. So it's what we live in, and
that's hitting high school also.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the other schools like Prescott did well in flag football, things like that. Grand Canyon region did really well just in sports in general. All year. I mean, when you look at the girls' basketball, the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken, was Flag High, Prescott, Mingus.
That wasn't the Final Four, but they were all in the quarterfinal.
We were in the Final Eight.
Yeah, Final Eight. Yep.
Yeah, so we were, and because we played Mingus in the Final Four, one of us, that Grand Canyon team, was guaranteed playing in the state championship.
Correct.
So that says a lot about the region, and people talk about how weak the Grand Canyon region is, but we're putting people in the state championship games. So
yeah,
it can't be that weak, and just gives our kids a better look. They're getting appreciated more because the competition is better and they're handling it.
Well, I think it really depends on the sports you're talking about, because when you talk about girls basketball, I don't know that the commonality is that it's a weak region, you know what I mean? When you look at us, you look at Prescott, you look at Mingus, you look at even how Bradshaw fared this year, you know what I mean? Lee Williams is up and coming.
But I'm saying in the past, we've been looked at
It
as a
can
weak
be.
region.
With girls basketball, because we've always had a pretty good showing. When you start talking about some of the other ones, then, you know, people may refer to that and say that. But you look across at the boys' side, I think Prescott boys made it to semifinals this year. They had some Division I ball players in basketball. Prescott girls made it all the way in terms of flag football to the state championship game. In their first year, they were runner-ups. And so, we definitely got some athletes and we definitely got some players in the Grand Canyon region. And for girls basketball, again, I think it's one of the more established and solid regions, and so for us being able to play against some of that just really helps us out as we go into playoffs and all that good stuff.
Right. And I know you got some other things that have been going on in Flagstaff just during the season, and it's just been a really busy year. So I know you got some highlights that you could just rattle off.
Well, I don't know about rattling off, but you know what I mean. We mentioned some of them earlier, but we definitely want to give shouts out to some of the state champions, some of the girls that went through. And I don't think I mentioned the one as far as MPA girls. They were also cross-country state champions this year. Bases took 6 in the girls cross-country. Flag High boys, Flag High girls, both were state champions in cross country. Cocoa girls was 7th in cross country state, and the boys were 11th. Again, when we talk about soccer in the fall time, MPA girls, they won that, and that Coach Blair's maybe 5th or 6th title, and so big ups to them. MPA. As far as volleyball goes, they actually were ranked number 8, and they made it to the quarterfinals this year, and so that's real cool to see that happen again. Flag High girls was number 1, and they got beat in the quarterfinals, but great season for them. Then when we look at some of the winter sports like soccer, and we look at Flag High and Cocoa boys made the playoffs. Flag High lost in the play-in. Cocoa made it to the actual state. The girls, they both made it into the actual state playoffs. Flag High lost in the first round. Cocoa made it to the quarterfinals, so that was awesome. We had representation in wrestling to where the boys and girls both made it in the state at Coconino, and Flag High boys made it to state, and so it was some good representation. And then, of course, with basketball, we were able to have some success. And we lost in the Open to Raymond Kellis, who was number 1 in 5A. They beat us by 4, and we dropped back to 4A, and we were able to win that championship in the 4A. And we started out with Eastmark, who beat us early in the year, and then we were able to beat them to end the year for the championship, and so that was good. And then you just look at these current sports that's going on right now in the spring, and baseball is going well for Flag High and Cocoa. They both on track to
they are.
To make the playoffs.
Supposed to be some good games. They're coming next week.
Yep.
Flag High Coconino rivalry.
Exactly. Softball, you got I believe Coconino is ranked number 2 in the state. Flag High is ranked number 4 in the state. So
and Caitlin Soule 4 pitches away from 1,000 strikeouts.
Four pitches or 4 strikeouts, man?
I mean, 4 strikeouts.
Could be 4 pitches, though.
Yeah, it could be. Knowing Caitlin, it could definitely, because you still got to hit against her. She was on our show, and that's one of the challenges we have. She's going to get her 1,000th strikeout probably today.
It's very possible today.
So, and she will be the only one lady in Northern Arizona history to ever get 1,000 strikeouts.
Yeah, and she's headed off to a university after this. You know what I mean? She's been committed for a couple years already.
Right.
That's the talent that she has. And, she was at the rec center and was going through, and we're looking at designing our championship ring and all that type of stuff. And she had stopped into the office, and I was like, see this? And she looked, and she's like, yeah. I was like, now it's your turn to go get one of these. And she just kind of looked at me. I'm like, yeah. You can be designing one of these too, you know what I mean? So, Coach Dennis does a great job with the girls over that way. So hopefully they can do what they need to do to be there. And then, on the other side with Tommy being coach for the Flag High girls and him stepping in this year and things really starting to pick up and to be ranked number 4. He obviously one of our co-hosts on here that helps us out and everything. So we want to give him big shout outs and big props and just tell him to keep it going. You know what I mean? Keep it going. We right here supporting 110%. So good things and of course track and all that.
Yeah, man. Flag, just track here in Flagstaff with MPA. Flag High, we're always going to do well.
Yeah.
Any running sports, we're going to do well. So, because I'm going to turn the tables on you, man. It's about that time for the Coach Johnson golden nugget question of the day, but I'm stealing it from you, and I'm coming at you with it. So, my golden nugget question to you is, we've been at Flag High coaching for 19 years. Mm-hmm. Chased the state championship for 17 years. Mm-hmm. Then won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
What was the difference in 17 years and 3 years? Was it your coaching style? Was it the style of the players? What was done in 3 years that wasn't done in 17 years?
Well, I think, Tommy and I talked about it a little bit. I think that some of it was probably my energy that I was putting off in those early years and the moments to where, I'm making the game bigger than what it needed to be. Mm-hmm. I'm making it bigger than the moment. The moment is fun. The moment is important. But at the end of the day, it's just still a game. And so for me, it had to come down to, I can't be around here so nervous and pushing that off on the kids, and now they're nervous. And so then when they get out there, they're not able to perform the way we had been performing all year up until that point, you know what I mean? And just early on putting so much emphasis on, because it was easy in a sense to get to the Final Four. That was expected, you know what I mean? Right. We were going to be at the Final Four, and that was like a goal as opposed to, getting there and winning it all. And so I think that, once we got to the Final Four and then just that added pressure, like we got to win this or we got to do this or we're expected to do this, taking that layer away, letting them be kids, letting them be in the moment, letting them just kind of really enjoy, and then just going out and playing, not putting anything added on it or extra on it or having extra annex or getting more frustrated than what you had shown throughout the year. And so I think it's a lot of that. I think the fact that we've changed formats, that definitely helps out. Mm-hmm. I think if you have an open format, back when Illy and them played, we probably would have been in quarterfinals and all that type of stuff of the open format. But you take away some of the dominant schools like the Catholic schools who are tuition based and can give assistance and so on and so forth. And, it's tough for us as public schools to compete with that when they can get
Don't say they can recruit. All the public assistants, that's cute words. They can recruit.
Well, when they can get these top tier athletes and then they're still put in a 4A, because there was many years I would say that 4A girls basketball was probably the best basketball in the state, and we're trying to knock up and we're trying to compete against that. Right. And so then you remove that component. I've always felt we were one of the best actual public schools, period, in the state. And, and when that happens, it's like, okay, you're in this opportunity, you got a chance to prove it. What you do, you put up and you shut up. And so, I think there's been a lot. Even before the open format, we made it to the finals. Yep. We ran up against Sal Point, and they had, 3 or 4 Division I players. And we have what we have, and we just go out and we battle when we play. And so, we were able to get there before the open format. With the open format, it opened up a window for us to be able to really kick the door down. And so that's kind of what we've done in the last couple times.
Well, Coach, kudos to you. Congratulations on that. I was just on your coattails. I was just for the ride, man, enjoying it all, And so, congratulations for that.
And, I appreciate it.
Everybody's had a great sports year. It's come to the point with us, with the 5th quarter, where we're going to have to take a little break. I know we did this a while back, but this is just going to be our regular schedule because it gets kind of quiet with our focus on high school sports. And so for the summer months, we won't be on. You'll be sure and seeing shorts and things like that from us, but we will be back. It's not like, oh, we're off the air. No, we're just going on vacation with the kids. When school starts, we will be back with our books and notepads and cameras. Promise you. So from the fifth quarter, Coach.
Yep. But in the meantime, while we're on break, if you guys have anybody that we should be looking at, anybody that we should be focusing on when we come back, drop us a comment, share a like, send us some type of message to where we know when the school starts back up which athletes we should be looking for and focusing on and really bringing you what you want, because we want to get the people what they want.
Get the people what they want, man. Get the people. That's our new motto. Get the people what they want. Yeah, so
yes, indeed. But this year's been fun, man.
Yes,
and so it's great to be back on the fifth quarter, you know what I mean, and really highlighting our local athletes and Northern Arizona kids. And so with that, we hope everybody have a great summer break. You guys enjoy yourselves. Remember, hit us up if you have any athletes. But in the meantime, I don't know what y'all got to do, but I do know one thing. You ain't got to go home.
But you got to leave here. Be safe. Peace.